Hi guys, this is Sundaresh. I'm gonna teach you about the Chomsky normal form today in theory of computation. Let's move to the topic. The CNF stands for the Chomsky normal form. A CFG is said to be in CNF if all the production rules satisfy one of the following conditions. The starting symbol should be generating an epsilon, or a non-terminal symbol should be generating two non-terminal symbols, or a non-terminal symbol should be generating a terminal symbol. Now we move to let's take an example now. The first step will be the simplification of the grammar. We have three steps in it. Elimination of the useless symbols. Under it, we have uh, two types, the non-generating symbols and the non-reachable symbols. Second one is the elimination of epsilon production. Finally, we have the elimination of unit production. If all these elimination processes are done properly, we will get a simplified grammar, and we will discuss about this in the further examples. Now we will be move to the step 2. Eliminate the terminals and the RHS of the production having a length 2 or more. According to the statement, we have to replace the terminal symbol A by the non-terminal symbol CA, which is newly introduced, and terminal symbol B by a non-terminal symbol CB, which is a newly introduced symbol. And we have to do it similarly here because the length is 2 here and the length is 4 here. And we don't do it here because the length is 1. And we have to define the productions for the newly introduced variable, that is CA and CB. And the next step will be the step 3, and restrict the number of the variables and the RHS of the production to 2. Here we can see that there are 4 variables here. We have to take the last 3 variable and consider it as a D1. And in D1, we have 3 variables. We consider the last 2 variables as a D2 and define the production. And therefore, the given CFG is converted to CNF. Now we move to the next example with an epsilon production. The step 1 will be removal of the epsilon production. First, we will eliminate the A tends to epsilon. For that, we have to write whatever there here as it is, and we have to additionally add some new productions. That is how we'll see that we have to add this. If we substitute epsilon here, we get BA. If we substitute epsilon in the last, we get AB. If we substitute epsilon in the first and the last, we get B. So this is what we get for the first production. For here, we have to substitute the epsilon here to get A, and we don't do it here because there is no capital A. And now, secondly, we'll eliminate the B tends to epsilon. For it, we have to substitute wherever we find the B. Now we'll write whatever there in the above here as it is. Then we additionally add some new production rules. Now we substitute, if we substitute B tends to epsilon here, we get AA. If we substitute B tends to epsilon here, we get A. If we substitute B tends to epsilon here, we get B. So this is what we get after the removal of the epsilon production. Now we have to do the elimination of the unit production. We have to replace A by whatever production it is giving. So do you understand? Like here we find that A tends to A slash A. So we replace A by this new set of productions and capital B by this new set of production. And now there is no useless symbol in it. So the elimination of useless production is not done here. And we'll be introducing the extra variable to convert the CFG to CNF. That is the step 3. In this one, we have we have taken the last 2 variables as X. We have defined the production here, and we have defined a new production A1 and B1 because we have to convert the terminal symbol to a non-terminal symbol because the length of the production is 2. We have seen in the step 2 in the last example. So this is how we convert the CFG to CNF for this example. Now we take an example which has some useless symbols. Now let us take an example. The first step will be the elimination of the useless symbols, the non-generating one and the non-reachable symbols. For the non-generating symbols, we have C, because it is generating continuously infinite times, so we consider this as the non-generating symbol, and so we'll eliminate this variable C. And for the non-reachable symbols, we have D, because we can't get D from A, whatever the method is, we can't get D from A. And we eliminate this CA also because we have eliminated the variable C. So finally, we'll be getting a form of like this. And now we'll do the elimination of the epsilon production. We know that we have to write whatever there here as it is. So we write here these two productions here, and we have to substitute the B tends to epsilon here to get AA, and B tends to epsilon here to get A, and we substitute B tends to epsilon here to get A again. So this is how we do the elimination of epsilon in this example. Now we move to the elimination of the unit production. In this grammar, there is no unit production after this elimination of epsilon production. So we have to move to the step 3. Now here we have to write whatever, no, here we have to replace the terminal symbol A by a non-terminal symbol A1 because the production length is 3, and we have to replace again because the production length is 2. We don't have to replace here because the production length is 1, and we replace the last two variables by X because we have to convert it to the production length of 2 finally, and we define the X production and the A1 production here. Therefore, the CFG is converted to CNF. Now we will take another example which will focus only on converting, which will focus on the step 2 and step 3. In this one, the G is defined by this given set of productions. Now we will simplify the first production, ABA. Now in this one, we have converted the small a to terminal symbol A to a non-terminal symbol A1, and we take the last two variables as X, and we define the productions, and we define the newly introduced variable A1, and we move to the next second production. In this one, we take AA as A1, A1 and B as A2. We take the last two variables as Y, A1, A2 as Y, and we define the productions for it. Now the third production will be, we have introduced a newly introduced variable A3 in place of C. So this, and we have to define the productions for it. Now all these simplified production together form a CNF. This is how we convert a CFG to CNF. And now we'll see the recap of it. Step 1, simplification of the grammar, elimination of the useless symbols. There are two types in it, the non-generating symbols and the non-reachable symbols. And second one will be the elimination of epsilon production. And third one will be the elimination of unit productions. Grammar is already in the simplified form after all these process. And step 2 will be the elimination of the terminals and the RSS of the production having a length 2 or more. This is an important step. We have to remember it. And finally, we'll be doing the step 3, which is a kind of easy one. We have to restrict the number of the variable and the RSS of the production to 2. And finally, thank you for listening my lecture. Hope you like it. Thank you.